be in a had an overlay of a rural residential area.
Yeah, that can be very disruptive.
Yeah,
So are you doing more residential or commercial or both?
I'll do both.
Okay.
I'll do whatever comes along. But one of the other things I want to talk about before we run out of time
Uh-huh.
is that one of my other project, which is sort of on hold right now, but I would want to develop it, is solar energy for commercial buildings or for anything with a large flat roof. Because I see them all around, and I wonder why they're not covered in solar panels.
So, well, does that make it, they wouldn't be flat on the roof. They would be at an angle, right?
It depends. You can actually, in Florida, you can actually mount them flat. If it's a flat roof, you do lose some energy production with that. But because we're so far south, it's not that much. I've been told it's between 7 and 15% reduction.
Hmm. But so what are you doing with solars? What aspect is important to share with the audience?
The biggest thing, I'm trying to educate a lot of people about it because there's been so much negative publicity on the news about this doesn't work and that doesn't work and this leaks and that has happens. And none of that is necessary. Now, you have a lot of fly by night and cheap outfits, and because the residential market is very oversaturated. But for the large commercial properties, you got two things going on. I've got a company that I'm working with. There's actually a finance company, and they will pay the owner of a property on a triple net lease for their roof space. Then they will finance the system, install it, and run it.
Hmm.
But what the finance company gets out of it is not just the energy, which they can turn around and then sell to whoever tenants are in the building or whatever. But the biggest thing, though, is first off, there's a 30% tax credit right off the top.
Okay.
But the really big thing for commercial properties is depreciation. And you can do accelerated depreciation of 85% of value in just 4 years.
Say that again. 40% what?
85% of the value can be depreciated in just 4 years.
Gotcha. Wow.
So that is a large tax shelter, especially when you're talking about a good sized project. Now, the finance company puts a lower limit of projects at 10,000 square feet.
So,
The upper limit, they don't have one. They've done projects in the megawatt range.
so do they do houses then if the minimum is 10,000 square
No,
feet? They don't do houses.
they won't do individual houses. However, they will do an entire development.
That way, yeah, I see. More efficient.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it's just as expensive to do a small deal like that as it is a big one for them.
gotcha.
So they
Right.
prefer the large deals.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
And I
no,
think that, well, is there a shortage of supplies in the solar world or no?
not that I've seen.
Okay.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either, but that doesn't mean I did hear something the other day, but I didn't think it was a worthy source, so was not sure. But very good. What else would you like to share with the audience?
Well, again, some of the things about solar, for instance, leaky installations. There's a company I know of called Solar Stack,
Uh-huh.
and they use adhesives. So they use a spray-on foam adhesive that they don't have to drill any holes at all.
Huh.
And at the conference that I went to, where I saw this, they challenged people to rip off the panel from the mounting, and nobody could do it. But you can cut this stuff. You can cut the foam with a knife.
Hmm.
So if the roof needs to be repaired or something needs to be changed, it's relatively easy. And the installation, they said, was 10 minutes per panel.
Wow. Hmm. I might have to get with you on that. I don't I don't know what they do with older roofs. Do you have to re-roof before you put them on?
That's usually a good idea. For older roofs, yes. Um, but if you have a brand new roof, then yeah, that's like an ideal time to put panels on.
Yeah. Do they do anything to help you on the price of the roof?
Some of the companies do, yes.
Gotcha.
There was one
Okay.
company, I'm trying to remember the name of it, it escapes me offhand, but they said if you get both a solar installation and a new roof, that they would like chop 25% off the price of the roof.
Interesting. Very good. All right. So, and I forgot to warn you, I have this thing I do towards the end where I ask, and you should have seen this on an email. I ask everybody if there's a pivotal person or event that brought them to where they are today or that is pushing them forward to a place that might be identified already. Did you see that would be a question?
No, but I have no problem with that.
Okay.
There were a couple things.
Yeah.
Growing up in Philadelphia and seeing all the city planning and what was being done there, um, my father back in 1948 did a model of all of downtown Philadelphia, which showed how it was looking then and then how it was supposed to look in 1980.
Interesting.
So that was pretty influential, and having exposure to a lot of architects and city planners when I was young, including some rather famous ones, um, was a big influence.
Nice. That's good.
And for the solar energy, the energy problems of the early 70s, and I went to the second National Solar Energy Passive Solar Design Conference in Philadelphia.
Uh-huh.
And that was extremely interesting. Now, these days, you don't hear much about passive design. It's all about photovoltaics. But
Really
back then, the photovoltaics were way too expensive. But they were doing designs where the entire house was actually the collector itself. They didn't
interesting.
really have separate panels. It was just like a glass front and special insulation and things like that. And how to
Interesting.
design a house to absorb energy or block unneeded energy.
To block it. Why would you block a needed one?
In Florida,
Oh, just too
you
much.
want, yeah, in Florida, you want the shade
Yeah.
because you have more hot days than you do cold. So you want to have lots of trees. You want to have, um, there are ways of installing like trellises and things that will actually block
Right.
the sun at some angles, but allow it in at lower angles in the wintertime.
Right.
So you go both sides of it, or you plant deciduous trees so that in
Right.
the wintertime, no leaves to block the sunlight.
Right.
So you can get the
Yeah.
best of both worlds.
That's where I need a land planner or a landscape artist. I don't, not artist, but yeah, I don't get into that stuff very well. But so yeah, well, that's good that you have so many things going on and that you're able to still keep, even though you're semi-retired, keep doing some of this stuff. It's really exciting. It kind of helps you stay young, right?
Absolutely. And I enjoy doing it. I think,
Yeah.
to me, challenging the regulations and looking at what's possible, it's fun.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Great. Well, so why don't you tell the audience how they can reach you? And we'll be putting that in the show notes. And we need to go ahead and wrap this up then. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. It's good timing for me. Um, yeah, my phone number is 407
Mm-hmm.
457 0557.
Okay.
My email is real simple. It's Samuel G. Abrams, that's Abrams, at gmail.com.
Okay. Very good.
And I'm working on a website right now, but I've been and a Google page, but I've been having some problems with that. So
Okay.
that's
Well,
still
maybe
in the
by the time
works.
this comes out, what we'll do is we'll send you the show notes, and if that you got all that straightened out, we can add it to the notes.
Great,
Okay.
great.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you being here.
My pleasure.
Yes. Take care, Sam.
Okay.